Cherish the day. That was a beautiful episode. I love how they show the dates and the time in the beginning. It's small things about this show, the details in this show that you really got to pay attention to. Like, for instance, when you see the daughter, well, his sister's daughter, which is his niece, you've seen that she's older, and all the complaining, well, she was a kid, complaining about her hair and how her and her mom didn't get along. It's so funny when we see them now. Her hair is all shaved off. She looks like a young lady. She's even getting a tux. So I'm not sure if that means she's non-binary or whatever. But her mom seems completely comfortable. So obviously they went through a lot of those growing pains, and it's different. And the mother even revealed that she's no longer married. Because you remember in the last episode what I was saying with the bitter ex-brother-in-law. Okay? So the families are getting together, and it was cute to see how giddy the dad was about everything. I know they're trying to rush and get everything ready for the wedding, but when I seen their dad, he is so excited and so giddy when he was at the venue. And even when he was meeting Gently's mom, I was kind of like, okay, I like, okay, Gently's uncle. I got that part right. They had the shirt out of Gently's dad, who actually passed on. So I was getting confused last episode. So Gently's dad did die, and the uncles raised her, and they want to represent him at the wedding. The T-shirt picture is how they normally do that. Her uncle, Gently's uncle, and Evan's mom seem to be getting along, to me, pretty well. I thought that things seemed like they were just gelling pretty well, and it seemed like he kind of handled her. I don't know, there's something about the uncle, I like him. He reminds me of my dad. He does, even though it is her dad. I'm going to say that, one of her dads, so she has more than one that raised her. And so you could kind of tell that the mom, I feel like Evan's mom knew that she wasn't dealing with just some, I don't know. So when they were at the venue, she seemed pretty okay. The first thing she said was spacious. She didn't say, ooh, I like it. She said spacious, because it was a lot of room. Okay, he said that. He was like, hey, we can dance on the dance floor and have a good time and stuff like that. Then he had his band, or her other uncle and his band came and was playing some funk, 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 funk. And it seemed like it was cool, but she was kind of like, this, it's okay, but I'm not with it. She was tolerating that with the venue, right? So for the reception. So they get to the cake testing. And you know what? Being from Louisiana, going in the kitchen, and you got, Aunt Sally, and she may not be your auntie, she knew you growing up, is making your wedding cake, right? And I think she had the first cake she offered was a lemon cake, it's her favorite, and she was like, and then she offered her this rum, I think it was a rum cake or something, and she let the stuff soak overnight. That's old school. And I'm sorry. And she was like, it's a good cake. It's delicious, but it's not a wedding cake. I don't know. You can just cut it with a knife when she said this. Like, everybody was like, and then she was like, we'll make a decision. And she was like, a decision? I've known Jillian since she was a little girl. I'm making her wedding cake. I was like, ooh. I was like, here we go. And so then her and Evan left out of there. Jillian, uncle was in there just grubbing down. And they was talking. And she said, I'm surprised it didn't, be worse than that. And, he said, just keep your eyes open, because I got a feeling this thing gonna be, something's gonna happen. And she was like, well, I don't judge him for his background, and he don't judge me. And, he was like, nothing is wrong with that, Jilly. That's good that y'all like that, but keep your eyes open, because just like these two different cakes, they're two cakes, but the ingredients is completely different. I was like, okay, Come through with the analogies, Ava. Come through. So we get to the trying on the dresses. One of the most favorite things that a woman does when she's about to get married. But poor little Gently, you know how with her mom and how she's no show. It was actually a little sad. And at first, when the mom came in and was like, hey, you gonna try some dresses on? And she was like, no, I got somebody, like the cake lady. I got somebody to make my dress. She dry cleans and makes dress on the side. I was like, oh my Lord. I know to Evan's mom, it's kind of like scratching on the wall, you know, like this is no. She was like, just try some dresses on. You might like them. So I felt like they were having a kind of a mother-in-law, whatever, because she didn't have a mom or anything. And she says, she even mentioned that about her mom, and she said she's missing out. So she was like, hey, try on some dresses, you know. And everything was going great. She loved the dress. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, I think the dress lady that runs the shop says, well, your fiance left a card here and said, you find something here. I know once you look in here, you'll find something better, or something to that effect. And she didn't like that at all. And I knew she was going to get mad. She got super mad. And she was about to, you know, Evan, you know, what is going on? This is no, I don't like this. I had somebody. She said, I understand with the church. You wanted your church. Let that slide. You know, you make comment about the cake. You know, and she was just like, dang, what's the, you know. He said, I thought we're supposed to make each other happy, which means, you know, I do what you want. You know, that's what he was trying to say. And she was like, well, pretty much this is not me. And he's like, look, I'm a man. I don't have pay attention to stuff. I don't. I have pay attention. So I didn't notice it. He said, all I see is you. I was like, oh! All I feel is you. I was like, I forgive you. Okay. So one scene I wanted to talk about, which I thought was actually cute, when Evan's dad was actually bonding with the uncles. And it was interesting because when she mentioned, you know, he's from here, I found that very interesting. You, and I mean Evan's parents, you married somebody. That's why he made that little comment he made at the ceremony for the parents. You married somebody from the same area I'm about to marry, but yeah, you have an issue with it. I'm not understanding that. So he was like, I grew up right here, you know, the uncle went to Crenshaw. I forgot what school he said he went to, but he grew up right there, knew about when they hung out, and he was like, and then one of the comments that he said to the uncles, he was like, you know, we probably passed each other on the strip. Uncle was like, we was into a lot of different things back then, AKA, they was in the streets. Because even the uncle mentioned to Gently, if it hadn't been for you, I'll be dead. That was some deep stuff, man. That was some deep stuff. But my favorite part was when after Gently and him had their little, you know, he just like, look, we just gonna get married right now. I was like, you know what? I think that's a good idea, because this whole wedding fiasco gonna turn into how much is this, and you paying for this, and this is not good enough, and you know. So when they decided to get married at that moment, I thought that was the most romantic thing and the most logical thing that they could have done for both families. And then they even took a picture together with a cell phone, the wedding picture. I thought it was wonderful. It don't have to be all that fancy with a bow on top. The whole point of a wedding is two people who love each other and they're about to get married. All the extra stuff is really, you know, not important. Well, it shouldn't be anyway. So, I don't know. I just thought it was very, very nice. I thought it was very, very nice. And they got married, and that's pretty much it. This timeline of this show is really, it's pretty cool. Because even though it's not, you know, reality like it's happening, we're seeing the show week to week. The way she's speeding up time and showing how time and how relationship changes, and even how the people around you change, like the kids grow up, people get older, or, you know, things happen, different events happen in people's lives, and you see the difference in each scene, in each in each show, each episode, you see a change. So I think she's a great writer, Ava is, and I think that this show is really one of my favorite shows right now, because it's not necessarily about a reality hip hop, whatever. It's about black people, okay? And it's showing both sides of the coin. People who are, you know, I ain't gonna say up here, down here, but have more money, and some who don't, and people who are living and who are happy. People who are living and they're happy. It doesn't matter how much money they have. But showing how these two families are coming together, and showing how a lot of these things affect them. I think it's wonderful.